While I'm just uploading the Norwegian, the 33, the Westminster, which I made mention of. It's me and Alexander, the Black Odin Raven. It's not London. it's Scandinavian. It's also from Rome. But then that gets confusing with Romer being the piece of shit non-father, the toilet paper problem. This is where vernacular is going to lose you here. But when I wrote the letter down in Virginia that Jason Peter Romer, and Peter Otto Romer are not to have custody of Alexander ever, never to make claim of Alexander ever, never to have any kind of rights or say in Alexander's upbringing whatsoever. I wrote that letter in the state of Virginia when I was down there, just when I was pregnant, before Alexander was born. I wrote the letter and I left it with a witness down in Virginia. I believe it's Carol. I can't remember her last name. And so she said she would hold on to it for me, because she had friends in the government, which I thanked her profusely, in case it ever came up and I ever needed help. But I have no way of contacting her either. My phone has a thing where the contacts sometimes just mysteriously something connects to it and they disappear, or they jumble up, or they change, or the names change. I mean, it's a real technological problem now that the facially disformed from every country outside of the U.S. somehow has some illegal contract with my patent department that can't seem to take it back. So here's the next thing. The world staged event of high science places where the facially disformed and disfigured and all of the colors outside of the U.S. that now also are in the U.S., being the 50 continental states, they staged a scientific event where they literally hit me through invisible shield, paranormal science, where it was like radiological, like weaponry at my head so I couldn't think. That was the night I went to the National Guard to check in, of my own fruition, by the way, not planned. Then I went to the local police station, which happens to be called Suffolk County. I didn't tell them anything because I couldn't even get my thought pattern straight. I stood there awkwardly while they were all on the phone. I called Mike in front of them, who's also not only a PJ, but he's also which is a paratrooper, I think he said, but he's also a Suffolk County police officer with a different precinct. I just wanted to make sure I was on retina cam for humans. So then I left, and then I checked myself into Stony Brook Hospital, because again, and while I was there, I asked for the phone number. I asked the head nurse. I said, I'm having a real problem. I said, do you have like the phone number of like the FBI or the CIA or like NASA or something I could call to report what's going on? And she's like, no, you need to take it back. You need to go over there and sit in the bed. And then they put me in for schizophrenia. Really? I'm just curious, because it actually happened. It's an actual thing. I'm an actual ancient goddess, also a real thing. I know in lazy dipshit land of 50 continental, where you learn 1 + 1 = 2. What do you mean you put letters in your figures? That's not right. That's where I live. That's what pubic school is like. When I went to St. John's Preparatory School, it was not militarized. It was a Catholic school, and they were lucky in immigrants from every country in one school if they got like a, I don't know, Sesame Street job at like, if the Asians like you and the disfigured facially that they let in the last pubic scare, right, okay, so that they lost, right, okay, so then you get a job. Otherwise, if you're white, yeah, the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, the blacks, they all got good jobs. I'm like the only one that didn't get anything, so go figure there. Big fucking surprise, being that it is the U.S., and I'm under attack being in the state of New York, because somebody decided to demilitarize it, which they're not allowed. The U.S. military is supposed to be number one in charge of the state of New York while I am a resident here. They have ultimate say, they have ultimate control, and they are to execute anybody that's racially born or they have a facial disfigurement to keep my ass safe while I am here until I can have elsewhere come and get me. That was the instructions that the extraterrestrials left for all Area Stupid, knowing that Lewis was a major fucking security concern for his own daughter, knowing that he knew nothing. Good? Great. Okay, so here we are in immortal territory where you have one immortal and two dead robots, because they're just as fucking useless and dumb as everybody else that only thinks that 1 and 1 equals 2. Except, like, 1 and 1 equals 2 unless it's an anatomy. Because if you have one husband, one wife, you could have, like, 10 kids. So 1 and 1 does not always equal just 2. But I know, it's like, this is what they teach over here, is 1 and 1 is always 2. You die on the sword for 2. You got it? No, I don't get it, but okay, broken robot. This is where I was born. In all areas stupid and less advanced than before. You let the facially disfigured in China and Korea have astrophysics and calculators and computers and take over the world from there, which they're not allowed to do. Right. I don't understand why we're not blowing them up by nuclear waste. I swear to God, I gave you enough canisters. Russia, hello? Are you not, like, able to fucking send by, like, a button, like, some all-area canisters so there's not one survivor? I need full genocide on anything facially disfigured. That's how dangerous they've grown. Not one survivor. Why is this so fucking difficult? And in all your countries, just round them up and execute them. I don't understand. What is so fucking difficult about running this world? Seriously. Where the fuck have you all been? This isn't about I need a shiny crown and a Fred Flintstone cape. I don't give a shit. If I never become royal in that genre, so fucking what? I want to be with the guys who need help to run the fucking place. I'd rather be underground in a bunker with a couple, like, protein shakes and a treadmill than to fucking be in a, like, pointy hat and a Fred Flintstone cape. I mean, hello? One of us is a cunt that does absolutely nothing but ruin the whole fucking world, and the other one's supposed to be running it. So, I'd like to have the respectful people that like their, like, cocks and their respect back to come fucking get me and lock down New York, finally. So this way, then we can all be respectful and pretend like this never happened, like you fucking failed miserably for multiple generations and taught more people to fail. That's where we're fucking at, idiots! So, United States Supreme Court in, like, dipshit New York, Jason goes to court. I tell him, don't go to court. I said, I will let you hold Alexander in your possession since I'm going back to Lewis and Linda's house. What happens? Dipshit goes to fucking court, and then he gets papers. So now what do I do when the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't want to fucking listen to my letter that's on file that they have no jurisdiction to give Jason custody? All area stupid! Which one of you wants to fucking do something correct first and make me fucking proud? One of you out of 7.5 billion useless fucking skins would be nice to make my fucking day. One. I haven't had fucking one. Not one in my entire life. 41 years of disappointment, not one has gotten it correct.